Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to another video on the channel. And today guys, we're going to be continuing our 3-game match review series. Alright guys, now in today's video we've got yesterday's, Saturday's Arvo and night games, Saturday Twilight night games. Now looking at these games, this was quite an interesting thing that I had after looking at the results. You look at these games, right, and they're like, well, these games are not very appealing, which, I mean, looking at them, they're actually not very appealing, if you were to ask me. Wouldn't be surprised if this gets lots of views or not a lot of views, because these games are not appealing. Just because of the teams, you see Essendon, Hawthorn and Gold Coast, and then you got Brisbane, Power and D's. You got top 4 teams versus lower league place team. Not that these teams are very low or bad, but teams that you wouldn't expect. You wouldn't expect Essendon to beat Brisbane. You wouldn't expect Hawthorn to beat Power. You wouldn't expect Gold Coast to beat the D's. And I'll tell you, we've got a big video coming up here. There is plenty of news coming out of these games, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So we're going to be starting off with the 4:35 game Victorian time for yesterday's Essendon Brisbane at Marvel Stadium. Now, if we've learnt about Brisbane over the years, it's how they can be so damaging at the Gabba, and how at Marvel Stadium they just don't pull on the same outfit really. Now, in yesterday's game, it was a little bit of a different story. They only did get the job done by 22 points, so it wasn't like it was a massive upset. But again, you don't have to beat teams by a lot. You just got to get the job done. Which sometimes that can go over teams, and that can make you lose. Now, the Bombers were 10-15 yesterday, quite inaccurate, compared to the Lions 15-7. So the Lions were always well ahead in this game, except a quarter time when it was out at a game-high lead. Well, probably about a game-high lead, over 20 points. 29-7 at one stage. And when I saw the score, I was like, oh geez, don't tell me Essendon are going to surprise us all. And I wasn't really going to be surprised if Essendon was to make a surprise win and surprise everyone. All the surprises. But, because of all the upsets you can get, I wouldn't have been surprised had that have happened. But I'll tell you, it was an extraordinary fight back from Brisbane. Some teams can just give up when it's 29-7. They can be, oh, we're done already. But you just don't. In sports, you don't give up when you're down. You fight. And that's exactly what Brisbane did here in this middle stage. They fought. And then they got the reward of leading at half-time, and Essendon never really were there for the rest of the game. Essendon were always there. Sorry, guys. Were always there on their tail. But they just never, ever did anything. Just like the practice match against the Saints. They were there, but just didn't do anything. And that is penultimately what cost them the game. Now, Lockie Neal, 41 touches. He was good. He was very good, actually. Archie Perkins, 3 goals. Peter Wright, 3 goals. Hugh McCluggage, 3 goals. Nicely done. Dane Zorko, 145 fantasy. And Lockie Neal, 145 fantasy. And only the 5 tackles for Berry. So, yeah, interesting there. Now, if we go... Let's go back to the Worm. That last term, there was definitely room for the Bombers to do something. And they did kick a goal here, but they just, in the end, the Lions were just too strong, and they get the job done. Now, the Lions would be fancied as a top 4 team this year, so they did do a pretty good job. Now, have a look at the fantasy. Parrish, Merritt, 111 each, 104 for Rich, 103 for Wright. Now there, we had 2 goals for Neil, Cameron, Bailey, Danaher. So multiple avenues towards goal for the Lions. McCluggage, Neil, Cameron, Bailey, Danaher, McCarthy gets 1, McInerney, Rayner, Cockatoo. So it was a pretty good display by the Lions. And for the Bombers, 3 for Perkins and Wright, 1 for Cutler, 1 for Smith, 1 for Merritt, 1 for Stringer, and then two behind for Parrish. You can see there's not a lot of avenues. It's the midfield where it gets going, and this Lions team, they are oh so dangerous. They could have made this game, definitely could have made this game up towards the 30-40 points. Again, though, they were exceptional. Hitouts, Sam Draper won them all. But again, was this game won out of the middle in Essendon's terms? The hitouts were going straight down to Lions players to go and get the carry out of the middle, although it actually was centre clearances going to the Bombers. So that is an interesting stat. Free kicks going to the Bombers, inside 50s going to the Bombers. And again, it's all about your efficiency, and that is how you win the game. And in fact, the next game is a pretty big game talking on efficiency. So if we have a look, the next game that I'll be reviewing, which will be Port Hawthorn, efficiency, I think the efficiency made the game the way it was. Now, absolutely nothing for the power in this game. Absolutely nothing for the power in this game at all. Hawthorn win by 64 points. Now, this is a story and a half. You look at this. The worm was always in Hawthorn's area, and you can see in that third and fourth term, they just get out. Score, they got no goals in the first and the final term. So that just goes to show how bad they were playing, how horrible they were playing, how bad they were, really. If they're going to play like this next week, the Crows might actually be a chance. We saw how dismal they were in yesterday's match review. Both the South Australian teams were pretty dismal in this round of footy. Now, no need for patching up here with the Hawks. Like, it's hard enough to go away and play a team that's not on your home ground. But to come to Adelaide and do it against Power, that's pretty hard. That's one of the hardest things to do, is to beat the Power on their home deck. Now, if you're a top 4 team, you'd be fancy to get the job done. But if you're a bottom 4 or a lower rated team, Port Adelaide will normally come and demolish you by 40 points. This did not happen. The Hawks were very good. Now, you can see the Power did actually keep up. They had their chances to go and take the lead and maybe build their staircase up to victory. But no, it was all Hawthorn, really. They just kept that staircase going down and down and down. And for Port Adelaide, there was nothing to be happy about. Power Pepper played an unreal third term. Apart from that, though, there is nothing good. There is nothing good. There is nothing good at all. You can see the worm just keeps on going down until it gets to that 60-point mark. And they had their chances. 7-14 to 19-6. Hawthorn kicked 13 goals straight. But you have your chances. You know when you kick 7 goals, 14, you have your chances. They lost in the unofficial practice game to Gold Coast for the same reason. They've lost to some sloppy teams, the Power. They really need to fix this up now. Otherwise, are they going to be the same old Power we know? This is not the same old Power we know. And if there's any Hawthorn fans watching you, congratulations. Your team played a brilliant brand of footy. You were attacking. You were aggressive. You took the game on. And that is how, sometimes risking it is how you're going to win a game of footy. Not necessarily you win it that way by 64 points, but geez, brilliant effort. And I was done with the game in the third term. I was like, nah, not watching this one anymore, because I knew the result that it was going to be. I knew the Hawks were going to absolutely steamroll the Power after the third term. Didn't watch it just because it was so bad. It just was not fun at all. Now there we go and have a look at some stats. 39 touches for Boak. Now I do want to touch on this in a minute. 5 goals for Lewis, day out for him. 152 fantasy for Boak, 11 tackles for Zach Butters. Now, I do want to say something. The only good moment for Port was the Russell Ebert part in the game. That's about it. Look at this. Look at this. If you have a look at the disposals, 39 for Boak, 38 for Amon, 36 for Wines, 29 for Butters. Look at their efficiency. 69, 76, 61, 72. Now, I did watch the round so far this morning. I don't actually mind that show, and they said that these touches were meaningless. They meant absolutely nothing. And if you have a look, handballs, you can see there's a high number of handballs, all over 10. High number of handballs, and they were not efficient at all. These plays were not very efficient, and these touches meant nothing in the long run. Now, if you have a look at fantasy, look at that. Look at that. All the way down to the Lysette and then Mitchell. Port Adelaide were dominating this game in different areas. Look at that. Look at the tackles as well. Port Adelaide were dominant. They just did not use it. Now, hitouts, Ned Reeves came and did a very good job. McAvoy was there as well. Nash did 3. But this is a disappointing performance by the Power. Look at that. Look at that for the goal kickers. I have to go down to Ward. Lewis down to Ward. Look at how many Hawthorn players there are. That just goes to show the Power's day was not very good. Now, have a look at a couple of team stats. It wasn't even like it was favoured in Hawthorn's favour. Alright, well anyway, we've got to finish this one up. But look, that was a massive upset. Congratulations to the Hawks for winning. And now we're going to go ahead and hop into Melbourne versus Gold Coast. Now, I think if you're a Gold Coast fan, I don't think this is a bad result for you at all. You lost to the reigning premiers by 13 points. Now, when I was watching the highlights of this game, I was like, ooh, hang on. And when the first time went, I was like, you know what? The Suns did a good job. They still played. They competed hard. And I think losing by 13 to the reigning premiers is not that bad. It almost comes across as a win. It's like a win. It's a win-loss kind of scenario. Because you're up there. You've played a good game. You've played with them. You've been there the whole time. And they just didn't make the most of some of their chances. Maybe that's what threw away the win. But other than that, they were pretty good, the Suns. They were pretty good. They were very good, the Suns. Very good. The D's, though, they were just at exceptional level. Again, they are the same team. They just play so well. Now, have a look at the Worm. It was Gold Coast got off to a fast start, 15-0. 15-0 in that first term. The D's brought it back to be quite even at that quarter's time, except 4-point lead to the D's. Half in the second term, it was a bit up and down. Gold Coast were there. And then three-quarter time, D's got a lead. And then, yeah, again, it was a pretty simple last term. The D's hanging on. Now, it was Gawn and Jackson who were pretty good in the ruck for the D's. They got two very good rucks and forwards that are capable of going forward, back wherever you need them. Track with the 40 disposals, Levi Casbolt, Pickett, Lukosius, Anderson, Jackson, Brown with the 2 goals, Miller 147 fantasy, Neil Bullen 9 tackles. And you can see that Petrarca, Bowie, Oliver, Neil Bullen, Jackson, Fiorini also scored pretty high. Anderson scored high as well on the disposal, on the AFL fantasy. Now, 38 touches for Miller, 34 for Oliver, 34 for Bowie. So Bowie really getting in there. That is a very good performance. 25 for Fiorini, Anderson, and then 24 for Ellis and May. 23 for Neil Bullen, Viney, Tomlinson. And then 22 for Jordan and 21 for Jackson. So Jackson was pretty good as well. Now, there we have a look at the hit-outs. Jared Witts did a pretty good job. But if you add them up, though, 18 and 16, 18 plus 16, that's pretty similar. I'm pretty sure that's just a little bit short, though. Yeah, that'll fall just short. That's a 32, I'm pretty sure. 32. No, it's 34, sorry. 34. But yeah, 34 to 38, technically that way. Maybe Troll got in there, had the 11. McDonald goes in and has the 1. So, that is how that game went. This one's been dragging on now, so I feel like it is time to go ahead and wrap it up. There was some very interesting games, though, throughout this episode. Now, here is the ladder, so I'm just going to move it just up here so then you guys can see what's going on. Hawthorn are in first. Second is Collingwood. Third is Sydney. 4 is Melbourne. So, there you go. You can go all the way down to 6th and see the teams with 8 points. Carlton in 6th. And then Port Adelaide are now the new bottom. They are on 62.5, 62.6 for the Bombers. So not good starts for these two teams. They go 0 and 2. And then now that today, North Melbourne, West Coast, big game that one. West Coast have so many waffle players in their squad, so I feel like North should get the job done. Richmond GWS, the loser goes 0-2. Fremantle, St Kilda, if Freo win, they will be looking to try and make their stance while they're a top 8 team. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you guys will never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. So bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.